Everyone, and welcome to Stampin' Chat Live, and welcome to our February release party. My name is Gina from Gina K Designs, and I am so excited to see all of you joining us from all around the world. Tonight is special. We've got 4 of our illustrators here who are going to share their beautiful new stamps and dies with beautiful card inspiration. And tonight I have a little bit of extra inspiration for you to share, because I actually had a little bit of extra time to make some cards myself, and my friend Dina actually sent me a bunch of samples, pictures of samples, so I'm going to be sharing those tonight when you see her new set too. So it's really fun. Now, tonight we have new stamps and dies, and I gave you lots of sneak peeks, but we have a couple of surprise products and one really, really fun one that I'm so excited about. Well, actually, they're all fun, and I'm excited about all of them. But I'm going to show you that in just a little bit. But before we get started, let's say hello to Tom. Hey, Tom.
Hello, everybody.
How are you tonight?
I am so excited. This is quite a build-up.
I know,
and it's
right?
been a while since we've been here, so wow.
I know. We missed everybody so much. We missed you all last week. We actually had sweet people calling customer service, making sure that we were okay. I appreciate that so much. Last week, my friend Catherine from Scrapbook and Cards Today magazine and her wonderful husband Jack came down from Toronto, Canada to pack boxes for an event that I'm teaching. We're all teaching, lots of different companies are teaching in March. And so we had to help them get their boxes all kitted and shipped out from a United States address so that our friends in the United States wouldn't have to pay tariffs. So that's what we were doing. So we decided to table our lives so we could help them with that. All those boxes are out and ready to go. And now we have our release and lots of very, very fun things to share with you. And we're back on track, right, Tom? Back in our regularly scheduled program. All right.
Sorry, I had to fix something.
Yeah, Tom was fixing some equipment over here. That's why he disappeared. All right.
Yes, we
And-
are back.
All right, and we're going to do several giveaways tonight. We're going to give away 3 gift cards at the end of tonight's show. And the way that you enter to win a gift card is just to leave a comment in the chat. That's all you have to do. Say hello, tell us where you're from, tell us what you're excited about tonight. And all of those comments, Tom's going to pick a random winner. So, of course, the more you comment, the more chances you have to win. So let us know what you like and chat with each other, and you have a good shot of winning tonight, right, Tom?
Yes, and our thoughts go out to our friends on the East Coast.
Oh my goodness, yeah,
A
that
heartfelt,
storm. Wow,
a heartfelt, we know how you feel from Wisconsin.
we really do. Yeah, we hope you're all staying safe and warm and you're snuggled in. I'll tell you though, nothing like things getting called off and shut down to make you happy that you have a craft room, right? That is like the best time to do your hobby.
Yes.
All right, well, shall we get started with our new incentive sets?
Let it rip, baby.
Okay, so each release, we have 2 brand new incentive sets, and then we have our regular incentives item, which is our cardstock. So let me explain what that is for those of you that are new to Gina K Designs. Anytime you spend $75 or more in product, you get an opportunity to get a free gift. And we always have 3 free gifts that you could choose from. Once your cart hits the $75 mark, you will get a pop-up, and you can choose whichever one of those free gifts that you want. We always have a pack of our white A2 size layering weight white cardstock, which is a must try because it's the best for blending and colored pencils and Gamsol and Copics. You're going to love that. But we also always have 2 stamp sets. And every time we have a new release, we change out the stamp sets. So tonight we have 2 brand new ones for you, and I'm going to show you what they are. So I didn't even check my overhead, but I think I'm good. So this is the first one. This is called Bright and Beautiful. And it's got this beautiful flower element, and it's got, I really miss you. Here's to bright and beautiful days ahead. You are such a bright light, and hello. And I love this floral. It's so much fun to color with colored pencils and Gamsol. If you choose this one, there's also a coordinating die set that you can purchase separately, and that will cut out everything from the flowers to all of the greetings. Now, because I had a little extra time, I made a card with this set, and I'm going to show you how pretty this looks when it is stamped and colored. Now, I colored this with colored pencils and Gamsol, and I did a really fun little colored pencil technique that I'm going to make a video on to show you how I did that. But all I did was, I've got like 1 red, 1 yellow, and 1 green pencil on there. That's it. And then I used a little white gel pen to accent the little stamen. I don't know if stamen is plural or singular. Stamens, I don't know. The centers of the flower, I used a white gel pen to accent those. And then I used our ornate die. Now, I don't know, those of you who got the 12 Days of Christmas box already have this die. If you didn't get the 12 Days of Christmas box, and this has been on your list, this die is now available tonight because everything from the 12 Days of Christmas is now available in our store. And so all I did was color that with some colored pencils and Gamsol and popped it up. I did a little cloud background there in the center of the piece that falls out of the ornate frame. And then I stacked 3 of those frame dies together to give it a little bit of height there. And then I used some of our silver metallic pearls just to accent around that ornate frame. So that's what this looks like colored, and you're also going to see lots of other inspiration in our Facebook group. But this is one of your incentives tonight. It's called Bright and Beautiful. All right, remember, this is yours free with any $75 purchase. But if you want, then don't forget to pick up this die set if you like coordinating dies. You can also fussy cut or just stamp right on your paper. Where do you get all of this stuff? You know what? I'm going to type it right in here right now. Our new release is now available at Let's put a link. There we go. I'm going to pop that right up at the top of the YouTube. You'll see it pop up, and then let me pin it. Oh my goodness, you guys are commenting so much. That's so awesome. Let me pin this message here. Now, it'll pop down at the top there, and I'll just check that link to make sure it goes to the right place, and it does. So there you go. You can find it right at the top of the YouTube chat. GinaKDesigns.com. All right, so that is our first incentive set. Now, our second incentive set is a little different because we do lots of florals, but this one is so cute. It's called Birthday Pals, and it's got these 3 adorable little animals, a giraffe, a lion, and a bear. It's got a party hat that you can put on top of their heads. You can mask them off and stamp directly onto the paper, or you can go with the coordinating die set and die cut everything and die cut the hats out and pop them up. And then it's got the words "for the birthday," this sticker. We put these on there just so that when you get your set, you know this was your incentive, that you didn't order it, it was free. For the birthday, and then you can put boy or girl. And I also made a card featuring this set, and I decided to go all out. I had to use everything in this set except I didn't make it for a girl, I made it for a boy, but you could swap it out and change up the colors and make it for a girl. So here's the card that I made using this set, and I colored these little animals with Gamsol and colored pencils. And then I did the little giraffe just with a yellow and a brown and a gray pencil. I don't know that that's quite giraffe colored, but it's certainly stuffed giraffe colored, right? If you had a stuffed giraffe. And then I cut the party hats out separately and just popped them on their heads. I made each one a little bit different color there. And I added some of our gold dots that we have, our iridescent dots. And then I just stamped "for the birthday" and "boy," and I popped that up. Now, this background stamp is our close-knit background. And then behind here is our pattern paper pack that was an incentive not that long ago. It's a neutral pattern paper pack. If Brianne Loveland is here, and she's always here, I love her so much. Brianne, thank you for being here. If you can find that pattern paper pack to link, that would be great. I'm trying to think of the name of it, but it's all neutral kind of fabric-y patterns. And I used our Circles cover plate. This is the Circle Trio. I think it's called that. But Brianne will find that for you too, because she's the link ninja around here. And I just stamped that with soft stone, so it really does look like a sweater. And it looks like 2 different fabric patterns mixed together. Super easy card to make, and perfect for a young boy or a young girl that's on your card making list. And of course, you can always put whatever you want on the inside. We've got lots of inside greeting stamps that would work so nicely. So I made that with our Birthday Pals incentive set. This is yours free with any $75 purchase. The freebies will pop right up, and you can pick Birthday Pals if this one is something that you think would be great on your list. PayPal is still an option, Terry. If you scroll down a little bit more, you'll see something that says continue on to checkout or pay a different way. It's still available. You'll be able to find it if you just keep scrolling down. You don't have to use Shop Pay, or you can use PayPal, you can use a credit card, you can use anything that you want on our website. Okay, so now before we get to some of our Illustrator stamp sets, I wanted to remind you of the different products that were in the 12 Days of Christmas box, and that these are all available tonight if this triggers anybody that they put these on their wish list and they forgot about them, and these might be important to you. So I'm going to show you these first, and then we'll get to our new stamp sets. So one of the things that's available is a paper hug stamp set and a paper hug die set. This was in our 12 Days of Christmas box, and it's now available in our store. You can find all of these in the What's New category, which is kind of cool. Oh my goodness, I think my Zoom is dead, Tom. So I don't know if you have any batteries, but we're going to have to do that before we get to the big stamp sets, or I'm going to have to go sideways. Sorry about that. So Paper Hug, you'll be able to see lots of samples in our Facebook group. And I also have a video using this that if you just go to my YouTube channel, just look for the card sample that has this design on it, and you'll be able to see a couple different cards that I made with this. All right, so that's one thing. The next thing that was very popular is the chalet background stamp. This stamp was incredibly popular. It's so beautiful, and it just works so well with like light colors. It just gives you a beautiful texture. And again, you can see lots of different card samples that I made on my channel just by scrolling back. Just go to the channel, Gina K Designs on YouTube, and click the live tab and just scroll back. You'll see all the 12 Days of Christmas videos. There's also a 12 Days of Christmas playlist where you can find them all. And you'll see card projects using this particular stamp set. I used it a lot during the 12 days because I love it so much. It's a great background stamp. Okay, and then we also have from the 12 Days box, Cheers to Another Year. This is a fantastic birthday set if you're looking for inside and outside greetings that have coordinating fonts. They work well for all different ages, different genders. They're not too feminine, too masculine. They just work really nicely with a lot of different things. Thanks, hon. And then this stamp set and die set, this die set cuts everything out. And what I love about this birthday set is you have Let's Party, Birthday Wishes, Happy Birthday, which are great for the front of the card. And all of these greetings can go inside the card, but they're also big and bold enough that you can use them for outside of the card instead if you want. And that's why this die set cuts them all out. So you can cut out the main outside greetings, but also all of these as well. So the Cheers to Another Year stamp and die collection is also now available. All right, I'm going to zoom out a little bit here. Wait, I better put something on the screen first. Here's one that everybody's been waiting for. This is the ornate frame. The ornate frame is now available, and this die is just gorgeous. You saw it in my card project here. There are also tons and tons of videos out there. There's inspiration all over my Instagram, Mindy Egan's Instagram, Megan Andrew. We had so many wonderful designers that joined us, and a lot of them use this frame. So the ornate frame that y'all been waiting for is in stock now. Also, these glorious gatefolds. So these are really neat because they make vertical gatefolds and horizontal gatefolds. Plus, if you watch Mindy Egan's video on this, and also my video on this, I show you and she shows you how to just use these as a beautiful kind of filigree background, even if you don't want to make gatefold cards. It also coordinates with our master layouts. Oh my goodness. See, I should have prepared better. I didn't prepare to talk about these so much, but I got all excited here. We have a gatefold master layout set. And Brianne will find it for you, I'm sure. Brianne, I see you with the link there for Glorious Gatefolds. If you could find the master layout set that coordinates with this and pop it in the chat, that would be great. But we have a master layout set that will cut an outline behind each of these as well. So the Glorious Gatefolds is now available. And you'll also get all that information if you go to my playlist and watch the 12 Days of Christmas video for this particular day. All right, so we also have this gorgeous, gorgeous, magnificent magnolia. Now this magnolia is huge. We have another stencil that's a sister stencil to this one that's much smaller, and I'm going to show you that tonight. So you can use them together or you can use them separately, but this one is fantastic for bigger 5x7 cards, for your A6 cards, for scrapbook pages and home decor projects, like upholstering the outside of a notebook and all kinds of beautiful things that you can do with this. You know I love my big floral stencils, especially for double stenciling techniques and things like that. So this gorgeous, magnificent magnolia is now available. All right, we just have a couple more to show you. The the Tiara Twin Frames is now available. And somebody was saying, well, I don't know what the difference is between these two. The big difference is one is a circle and one is an oval. So this looks very much like a mirror, like a Victorian vintage kind of mirror. This one is round. So depending on the images that you want to put in there, you might need an oval for maybe a curved floral. Or if you're putting something smaller in there, this circle might be a better choice. We have several different vintage sets that work so beautifully with these Tiara Twin Frames. And this is a big die set. I mean, that is a lot of steel on there. So, and I use this quite a bit in my video for the 12 Days of Christmas. So you get to see lots of samples if you want to refresh that video as well. Then, the last thing we have here, and these actually all kind of work together, and these were all in the 12 Days of Christmas box. So we have tiny tag sentiments. These are really nice because they're not holiday oriented. However, you certainly can use them for the holidays because there is a happy holidays to you. But the other things could be for birthdays, Valentine's Day, anniversaries, graduations, whatever you want. And then there's a full die set that cuts every little element in this set. That's the tiny tag sentiments. Then we have the tiny tags, and the tiny tags die set is meant to perfectly fit all of these sentiments. So sentiments like this and this will fit, like this one fits perfectly in here. This and this fit great in the round one. We have smaller sentiments in here that fit on this smaller tag. And then all of the long strip sentiments will fit on this strip sentiment tag. And don't think that you can only make tags with this, because this is a beautiful element to stamp a strip sentiment on. Tie a little bit of baker's twine on there and pop that at the bottom of your card instead of just a plain old strip sentiment. It jazzes up your card a little bit, and there are lots. I mean, this is a pretty big strip sentiment die, so there's lots of strip sentiments that are going to fit on here really nicely, and also smaller ones that will fit on here. So they're really fun ways to use these little tags other than just making gift tags. So all of those items plus the Dazzle Dust in gold, silver, and the Starlight. I should actually put my glasses on so I can see. We've got Starlight, 14 karat, and sterling Dazzle Dust. The reason these are in bags is because we ship them to you in bags like this. God forbid a million times that your box gets damaged in any way. The last thing you want is glitter all over your package. So we actually have people in our store, in our warehouse, that bag every single one of these products. They bag our re-inkers, they bag our glues, everything that could possibly damage your box. So that's why, and I didn't take them out because I already have these, but I wanted to show them to you. And the last thing is our white spatter paint. The spatter paint is also available. So everything from the 12 Days of Christmas box is in stock. Now, I will tell you, the Dazzle Dust is limited and we're not bringing it back, and the spatter paint is limited and we're not bringing that back. So once these 4 items sell out, we won't be bringing them back. The rest of these products will be going into our regular inventory. We always want to have something a little bit special in these types of boxes that you can only get for a limited time, just because we want it to feel special for you when you buy a box like that you get something that is just kind of like a little special holiday thing. But we did have a few extras of these, not very many, and we didn't reorder. So if you happen to get one of these tonight, you're lucky, because they're not even available for wholesale because we didn't have that many. I mean, I think we had like 60 of one and 75 of another. Not very many at all. Okay, so there are all of the 12 Days of Christmas box. Now, I want to show you something else that's brand new tonight. We have, my friends at ThermaWeb and we decided to do 3 new foil colors. I'm really excited about these colors. They're so beautiful. So the first one is brushed gold. So brushed gold is a beautiful gold. It's different than the hammered gold, which has all of that texture in it. The brushed gold gives you a muted gold. See, it's not shiny at all like our 14 karat. It is so beautiful. And when Sue from ThermoWeb said, hey, would you like to do a new gold and a new silver? As soon as I got my hands on them, I was like, yes, yes, I want those. So I'm sorry I don't have bigger samples or card samples for these tonight. I just ran out of time. But I'm going to be doing a foil video coming up this month, or in March. So we will be playing with these as well as some of the other polyglaze and foil products. But I wanted to show you what it looked like. So I found a couple of pieces here that I could foil. Now there's also frosted silver. So if you like that brushed look, the frosted silver is just as gorgeous. This is what it looks like. Isn't that beautiful? So it's not so glary. Do you know what I mean? It's different. And you can mix and match different golds and silvers together on your project to create more dimension. Maybe your background has the brushed gold or the frosted silver, and then your flower polyglaze design has sterling or 14 karat. And then maybe you have an element that has sparkling silver or glimmering gold. Maybe you make your own embellishments out of those. Yes, it does, Kristen. It looks very much like a brushed nickel. That's just so pretty. I love that. So those two, and are you ready? We did cranberry because we have our new cranberry cardstock, our new cranberry ink, and we had to do a beautiful cranberry foil. So I grabbed one of the foil mates by ThermoWeb. This one is the Holiday Flora. Those hearts came from the You Have My Heart polyglaze sheets, but I wanted to show you also how beautiful this foils on toner sheets too. So this is the Holiday Flora toner sheets by ThermoWeb and Gina K Designs. But look at that color. Now, when you lay this next to our red velvet and our red hot, you really see the deep cranberry tone in it. It is gorgeous. So if you are like me and you need all the things that coordinate, you want your inks to coordinate with your cardstocks, with your stamps. I don't even know, do I have any cranberry over here? I do. I have a piece of cranberry cardstock here, but look at how gorgeous that is together. Here's the cranberry cardstock next to the cranberry foil. And the cool thing about foils is, you know, there's always one look where they match perfectly, and then when you turn it a little bit, it totally shines in a different color. So you get like that brightness in the shine, but you can see how beautiful that coordinates with this cardstock. ThermoWeb nailed my color. It is such a perfect cranberry. So these are the 3 new foils that we're releasing tonight, and they're going to stay in our regular line. The brushed gold, the frosted silver, and the cranberry. Oh, I love them so much. So you can just get one more little look at them here. Love. If you're a foil freak like I am, you got to have all the things, right? Okay, so now let me get started on some of our Illustrator sets. So the first Illustrator set I want to show you is this gorgeous set by Hannah Drapinski. She came up with this beautiful, peaceful peonies. I love this stamp so much because it's so open and it allows for so much personalization. Whether you like to color with Copic markers, or you prefer colored pencils in Gamsol, or maybe you want just a very soft background where you stamp this in embossing and watermark ink on colored cardstock, or you use gold or silver embossing powder with it. This gorgeous peony flower is so big. It's great for the technique that Jennifer McGuire shared in one of her recent videos with the masking off. She used masking magic, and then I followed up with a step-up video for that. There's fun ways to use this with that. And then it's got a plethora of greetings here that I think are so great. And I really love the font because it's more of a classic font. It can go for anybody. Best wishes, I love you, sending you strength, you're invited. Happy birthday, happy retirement. With sympathy, just a note, get well soon, and happy anniversary. Then we also did a huge die set. Look how big that die is. I mean, look at it next to my hand. This is big. And it'll cut out all of the greetings. And you know, we all love to cut out our greetings and pop them on top. So I did make one card with this. Now, I'm not the best colorist out there. And I know that some of our guest designers who color, they're unbelievably gorgeous coloring, like Cassie and Pam and Karen Hightower and all of these fantastic Mindy, people that really know how to use Copic markers and colored pencils and watercolor. They're going to knock your socks off with this. But I just wanted to show you that just with a little colored pencil and Gamsol, you can make a beautiful shaded flower. I just used a red colored pencil and a yellow colored pencil. So all I did was color around the outside of each one of these petals, and I brought the color in to where it just faded away to nothing. And then I added yellow colored pencil in there and just kind of blended over that. So you can see here that this flower has this orientation, right? So if you wanted to make this an A2 card, you could put it more in the orientation that's on here and just kind of cut it off a little bit. But I just turned it this way and I put it on an A6 card. So this isn't a 5x7, but it's A6, so it's bigger than a regular A2. And I thought that that would be pretty to get a little bit more of the design in there. So really, I just used 3 colors on here, just a green, a red, and a yellow, and the Gamsol. And then I used the snowy background just to add that black spatter behind there. And I put it on some marigold cardstock. So check out the Facebook group. Stay tuned to my Instagram because I'm going to be sharing all of the designers' beautiful cards over the next couple of weeks. And you're going to see gorgeous cards with this. But I was so compelled to make one because it was so beautiful. And I was just in that colored pencil and Gamsol mood. As you can tell by my other cards, I was just having fun with my colored pencils all week. So that is one card sample using this beautiful stamp set, the Peaceful Peonies, now available in the What's New category at GinaKDesigns.com. Okay, well, we have another illustrator that I want to show you, Beth Saleka. So Beth, okay, I think this is my favorite set that Beth has ever done, because it's so useful. And this time of the year more than ever. My daughter is sick, her best friend is sick. There are just people that are getting the colds and the flu, and they're just under the weather. And I think it would be so cool, like for your friends, if they live close by and they're under the weather, pick up a couple cans of soup and some some saltine crackers, make them a card, and just drop it off on their front door and then text them and say, go open your door, there's a little gift for you. Wouldn't that be just such a nice gesture? Well, this is Beth's new stamp set, and it's called Speedy Recovery. And it's got all of the things that you will need to make beautiful cards for anybody that's under the weather. Now, there's a tissue box, which I love. There is a pill bottle and a little RX that you could stamp in there. There's also this medical sign. I don't know what it's called. My nurses and doctors out there, I'm sure you know. But you could stamp that in there if you want as well. It's got a cup that you can use as a teacup. It's got a soup bowl and some steam. You could put the steam on the cup or on the soup bowl, either one. It's got a Band-Aid for maybe somebody that, had an injury. The Band-Aid feels a little bit better than a cup of soup, right? If somebody broke their leg, maybe the Band-Aid would work better. And it's got a little flower in there, and it's got a heart. Then the greetings are sending prayers, wishing you a fast recovery, get well soon, take it easy, get well wishes, sorry you were under the weather, sending well wishes for a speedy recovery, sending love and hugs, sending caring thoughts and hugs. I hope you feel better soon. Hang in there. You've been on my mind and thinking of you. Plus, there is a die that cuts every single thing. This is a huge die set, cuts every single element out from this stamp set. I made 2 cards with this stamp set. I couldn't help myself. It is truly my favorite Beth Saleka set ever. So I have to show them to you. So the first card that I made, I just made a bowl of soup. And again, I was just jamming with my colored pencils. So what I did was I just colored this with like a rust colored pencil. And I used a gold pencil in here to make it look like the color of chicken soup. I used the Twirl It Checks stencil and just added a warm, cozy, quilty looking background there because I thought that that would be so warm and comforting. And then I die cut both the soup bowl and the steam, and I just popped them up using some foam squares. And then I'd use the greeting, I hope you feel better soon. So simple, right? Just a simple little quick card. And these are great cards, you know, when you don't have a lot of mojo, or maybe there's like no birthdays right around the corner, make a few of these and have them ready to go. Then when your friend calls and says, oh my gosh, I can't go to lunch today, I'm so sick, I have a cold. You could just stop at the grocery store and pick her up a little care package, an orange juice, a can of soup, and then grab one of your homemade cards. So I made this card, and then I made one more card that I love. I love this card so much. I used the chalet background stamp for this one, and I'll show you. So here I made a little trio of things that you would see on somebody's bedside if they had a cold or the flu, right? So instead of using the die for the tissue box, because it's so easy to cut out, I decided to cut it right on the line so I could stamp the chalet background stamp on that tissue box, because I have a box of tissues at home that looks very similar to this. And I just stamped it in sea glass, and then I added a little bit of like a sea glass turquoise colored pencil around there just to kind of accent the edges. Then I stamped it a second time on white cardstock, and I cut that out and I paper pieced it on top so my chalet background isn't on the Kleenex, the tissue itself. And then I have the little pill bottle, and I used the heart image, and then I just took a little black marker with a ruler and drew a straight line to make it look like there was tea steeping in there. And then I put that on that same pattern paper that I still don't know the name of because I stopped paying attention to what Brienne posted in the group, but it's our little pattern paper pack that has all those little fabric-y patterns in it. I put that behind there because it felt warm and cozy, and then I used Master Layouts 18 to add a frame around the outside. So here are 2 quick get well cards sending you well wishes for a speedy recovery, and I hope you feel better soon. The perfect cards for my daughter and her bestie. Got to get these out to them. So that is Beth Saleka's Speedy Recovery. Beth has lots of card samples she'll be sharing in our Facebook group and on Instagram. And then, of course, any of our designers who got this set in their design team package are going to have lots of other beautiful cards for you. So pay attention to this one because this is useful. This is like one of those, I feel like get well cards are as important to people as sympathy cards. Like when they're really feeling down and out and they have like flu, you know, for 6 days, 7 days, and they're not feeling good, a card really brightens up their day. So I love this. Great job, Beth. Great job. Okay, so now I have one more Illustrator stuff to show you, and Dina sent me all of her beautiful card samples, so I have them to show you on the screen. This is her cute little set called Heads Up Little Critters. And this is a very unique set because these little, she's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 little critter heads. She's got little hands that hold on to things. And then she's got little tails that will peek out behind things. So if you wanted to make a birthday card for, let's say, your grandson who turned 5, you could use one of Deborah Warner's big numbers, and you could have him wrapped around the number 5, right? You could maybe cut a box, stick that 5 on there, and have him holding that little 5 sign, right? So it's so cute. Like you can have them holding anything that you want. It's adorable. Wrap them around things. Wait till you see Dina's cards. But I want to read to you. We've got Miss You from my heart. thinking of you today. Have a great day. Just checking on you. It's the little things that mean so much. And from me to you. And then, of course, it's got dies for everything. So you can cut all the heads, all the hands, the little paws and claws, and all of the tails. And then you just arrange them. So let's go ahead and show people. And I'll try to talk people through. Now, Dina made these cards, so I'm going to do my best. There's probably some parts of the card that I won't know exactly what she used, the names, because I don't have everything in my brain. However, Dina's going to be sharing all these cards in our Facebook group and on her Instagram account. And she lists different things that she uses. So you'll get more information when you see her post. But let's take a look. So the first two cards I want to show you are these right here. Go ahead, Tom. Let's see those. Okay, so she used our pocket die there, and you see how she used our new incentive set, the new Bright and Beautiful incentive set for, no, she didn't, that was one of our older incentive sets. You could also use the new Bright and Beautiful, but that's one of our older incentive sets, and she has those flowers popping out of that pocket die, and then she's got that cute little critter popping out of the pocket, just his little head behind there. It's so cute. And then look at his little paws just holding on to those flowers. I love that. So cute. Then she's got the bunny, and it's leaning on that same stamp, which actually has a little border in it. And I'm not sure of the name of that one either. I'm sorry, guys. I know a lot of you got that one as a free incentive just a couple of months ago. But that, you can find that easily. Just go into GinaKDesigns.com, click on filter, and then look for mini stamp sets. That's where you see all of our past incentive sets. And that one will show up. But I love how she colored the cute little rabbit. So cute and simple with the little peach ears and the little peach cheeks and the flowers to match. So you can see how cute these look just popping up from pockets, from behind. That almost looks like it's like behind a wall where these flowers are just trellising down. All right, let's show some more. So she's got some more. These are so cute. The little raccoon just popping out of that circle with his little hands, and you can see his tail coming out behind him, just in a circle. And she used some of Debbie's new alphabet set there. That's what that looks like to me. And then just checking on you. I love that. That's so cute. And it looks like he's just peeking out of a hole, just checking on you, just popping out and checking on you. Then in the next one, she used the mouse with his little paws. And this is what I'm talking about, how you can have him like holding on to alphabet letters or numbers. So what she did was she made a shaker card out of Debbie's large letters. So she has a hello shaker card, which looks like a slimline to me. And then she has thinking of you today with that little mouse just popped up holding on to that hello. Isn't that so cute? Oh my gosh, I love Dina. Dina is so good at bringing everything together. She brought in stencils in these cards from the 12 Days box. She brought in other Illustrator sets. Her cards are really, she shows you how to mix and match it all. All right, let's take a look at some more Dina cards. All right, so here she did Debbie's large alphabet, and she did the word love in a block. And then she's got the little mouse just hanging off the edge there, and she put it on our postage die, which is from Master Layouts 14. Then on the next one, she used one of our incentive sets from last month, that birthday set with those heart balloons, and she's got that cute little bear holding on to the balloons, and he's just kind of popping out of a gift box, sending happy birthday wishes. Isn't that so cute? Oh my goodness. Ugh, I love it. I love it so much. And then I think she's got one more, or there are more than that, Tom?
Two more.
Two more, okay. Actually, three more cards. All right, let's see the next ones. So there's the little panda popping out of a circle, miss you. And she used our wishful flowers in the background there to create that beautiful black and white background. I love that. And I love that his little cheeky things are colored in peach. That's so cute. Then she used our new incentive set. That is the new incentive set there, the Bright and Beautiful. And she used the little fox, and you can see he's holding onto the flowers. His bushy little tail is hanging off the edge there. And here's to bright and beautiful days ahead. I love that. That is so beautiful. Having so much fun looking at all these samples. All right, in her last one, she mixed Beth Saleka's new Get Well set, the Speedy Recovery. And she has 2 bowls of soup there. She's got the pill bottle and a cup of tea. And she's got the little raccoon enjoying a little bit of soup, sending you well wishes for a speedy recovery. And isn't that just adorable? So you can see these animals wrapped around a soup bowl, wrapped around letters, wrapped around a gift box, wrapped around a floral design. You can wrap them around just about everything because it's not just the head. You got the paws, you got the tails. You can just kind of create that whole look. So cute. So Dina, thank you so much for sending all those beautiful card samples in. If you're looking for those card samples, Sammy will be adding them to her product listing on our website too. So when our illustrators send their cards to Sammy, she goes up in and updates the products. So if it's hard for you to find inspiration on Facebook or Instagram or Pinterest, you can always go right to the website and click on that product and scroll through all of the pictures on that product, and you'll get so many ideas. All right, well, that's all of the products and projects from the illustrators that aren't here tonight, and now it's time for us to get to some of our videos and our illustrators that are here. So the first one that is going to join us tonight is Lisa Hetrick, and let's just take a peek here at her stamp and die set. She's got this beautiful set called La Dolce Vita, and it's got a coloring stencil too, so you can color all of these elements in. I'm not going to say much more. I'm going to let her introduce everything to you. So let's welcome her to the program, Lisa Hetrick.
Hi friends, it's Lisa Hetrick. Hi Gina, hi Tom, hello everyone, and welcome to our February release party. I'm super excited to be here with you tonight. I have a brand new stamp, die, and stencil set to share with you tonight called La Dolce Vita. Super excited to share this. Let's dive in and take a look. Okay, friends, here is La Dolce Vita. It is a super fun builder stamp set, complete with some lemons and limes and oranges and all of these fun, different, fresh elements, and a really fun vase, some olive branches, some leafery, and this really super, super fun pattern builder that I'm going to share some great samples with. So here is the coordinating die set. So as you can see, there is a coordinating die for mostly everything in the stamp set, with the exception of these two-step stamping pieces. This really, really fun element here, it's a Mediterranean style tile. The whole entire set, the design of the set was inspired by a ceramic tile that I saw that I really, really liked that was based off of this design. So the whole concept for everything in this set was based off of that. It's just super fun. And I also built a coordinating stencil, coloring stencil, and the details that we were able to get in the stencil are just phenomenal. So let's dive in and take a look at the inspiration, and just loving how all the dies are now on the double-sided tape. I end up just putting everything back on the double-sided tape. It's just perfect, especially if you don't have a magnet. Okay, let's dive in and take a look at the inspiration. Let's get started. Okay, super, super fun. Here is an example of all of the builder elements. Loving that the vase is completely wide open so that you can create that whole Mediterranean looking style tile inside of the vase. complete it with the coloring stencil, and you've got this really fun card. I used In the Navy as my background, really loving that color for this set as a nice grounding color. Live the sweet life is just a really fun sentiment to kind of bring the card home. A lot of the cards that I've created tonight that I'm sharing are sentiment free. I'm kind of on this sentiment free kick with creating cards so that we can add the sentiment either on the inside or later when I go to use the card. Okay, super fun. Here is another really fun builder with Live the Sweet Life, but I took that element that's a lemon element and turned it into an orange. Now you could easily turn it into a lime or anything else that you'd like to for your card project. So here's some of the leafery, added in some of the stamped elements into the background to kind of just bring this really simple card home. Okay, here we go. I did another. Now I'm obsessed with the lemons in this set. I've given you 4 different versions of them in different varying sizes so that you would be able to nest them together and kind of create a different kind of look and feel, with some things being smaller than others. And I just love the way this turned out. See, that little tiny lemon works really, really well with this tile, with this Mediterranean tile builder. Super, super fun. Used the coloring stencils to color in the lemons and did some straight up stamping and just popped this on some of that new Kelly green colored background cardstock. Super fun, super easy, sentiment free card that I could easily put the sentiment across the front with the die cutting out the sentiment, or pop it on the inside. Okay, here's what I was talking about with the lemons and creating a lemon and a orange look with it, and just pop little lemons. That little cluster's just super, super cute. It's fresh, it's fun, and it's really, really super easy to color in with the coloring stencil. I think these next 2 cards might be my favorite. And this is what I was talking about with the lemons in this set. These easily could be limes, which I will be sharing some inspiration in my upcoming tutorials, live tutorials, creating lemons, limes, and oranges with these elements. But I created this kind of lemon wreathy-like element. Super fun, fresh, thinking about spring and summer, and just popped it off with Savor the Moment. Just kind of a really fun card. Really fun and easy to add all of those colored elements in the leafery and into the lemons. Okay. I think the next 2 cards, all of the cards seem to be my favorite, but I really enjoyed some of the technique builders for the next 2 cards that I'm going to share with you. So here is the vase, and I used the stencil. Let's pop that out so that you can take a peek at that. I used the stencil element, which is kind of fun, how you can get like a 2-for-1 in this. You've got the stamp where you can, for the vase, where you can use your favorite color medium or build a pattern inside of it, like I did with this card, the very first card that I shared. Let's pop that back in, where you can build that pattern inside. Or you can take the stencil and use it as a standalone, because the die that coordinates with the stencil, that coordinates with the stamp, also works with the stencil. And so you can build just a straight up colored vase. And then I added this die on top. Now, this die coordinates with this stamp in the set, but the die has been built, and you know what? I've got to give a big shout out to Brian for this one, because he went the extra mile on this particular die and added more detail on the inside so that when this die cuts, it cuts out all of those pieces. And it's super, super fun, but it also coordinates with the stamp. So I used the die cut pieces and I added a little bit of that detail in tone on tone right here in the vase, and then took it another step further. So here's what I'm talking about with that die. So when you cut that die out, you're able to get the outer part, the inner part, and then all of these pieces right here, and then all of the little dots. And I just kind of nested that onto this card with a tone on tone look and just put this little cluster of lemons here just to make it, just to kind of bring a little pop of color to that tone on tone. I love the look of the height of it and the texture and dimension without the height. So you get no height, but a lot of texture and dimension. So super, super fun. Okay, as with all of my stamp sets, I have a brand new card idea sheet, and I didn't make every single concept that's here. So here are a couple things I want to draw your attention to. So this is a really fun pattern. How I built this card for you so that you could see the pattern built inside the vase. But look at the vase with the lemons. Now, I will be doing a card similar to this in watercolor on this Thursday's tutorial, and I'll talk about that in a minute. But here is that stamp in the set, that tile builder stamp right there, at building a pattern. I'm also going to teach that technique in an upcoming video as well. So super, super fun. So this is the brand new card idea sheet that will be available. It's available on my website at indigojadeart.com. In the freebies section, it's also available in the Gina K Designs Facebook group. You just click on files in the Facebook group and you're going to find it there. I also have a coordinating stencil guide that shows you the stamp, all of the stencil elements. And this is so super fun. So here's the stencil, got a lot of elements on here for coloring. And then it shows you the combination. So stamp, stencil, and combination for all of the elements in the stamp set, including the vase and the tile builder. So you have two options too for building with that tile builder. So super fun. Okay, friends, let's take another look at La Dolce Vita, the Sweet Life, the stamp set. Let's move that out of the way. The stamp set, the coordinating coloring stencil, which is upside down and backwards here. So let's turn that around. The coordinating coloring stencil. Look at all of these elements and how crisp they are. Look at the detail in that. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. Okay, and here is the coordinating die set. Love all of the different elements that you're going to be able to cut out. Just super, super fun. Okay, friends, thanks so much for joining me and letting me share La Dolce Vita with you tonight. The stamp, die, and the coordinating coloring stencil are available now at ginakdesigns.com in the What's New section. I cannot wait to share more inspiration with you using this set. I will be going live this Thursday at 11:30 Eastern on my YouTube channel. And okay, friends, sit back, relax, enjoy the rest of the February release. It is chock full of goodness, and it's going to help you just be inspired. Just take a deep breath and get inspired with everything that you're going to see tonight. Thanks, friends, for joining me. Thank you, Gina. Thank you, Tom. I'm grateful for you all, and I'll see you next time. Bye now, friends.
Wow. Lisa, that just like hit my heart, that stamp set. Now, a lot of you know, you follow me on Instagram or you follow my personal Facebook page. I love Italian ceramics. They are my favorite. If I see a store that sells Italian ceramics, I'm just like sucked in like a magnet. And lemons, I love any ceramics with lemons and just that whole look of the tile. I might have to make something with this in a live video. Because I truly, that just calls to me. That is really beautiful. Lisa, thank you so much. And if you are new to Lisa Hetrick as a designer, Lisa has a fantastic YouTube channel. She goes live all the time. She has tons of inspiration for you. So make sure that you follow her on YouTube. You can find her by typing Lisa Hetrick into the YouTube search or Indigo Jade Art. You'll find her. Make sure you subscribe to her channel because she does really, really good videos. She teaches a lot of watercolor and a lot of really cool techniques. But Lisa, this stamp set, this is the one. This is the one. It is so good. I love it so much. And that card with the lemons on the vase, I didn't see that coming. And now I feel like I have to go home tonight and make that card. That was beautiful. Thank you so much for joining us, Lisa, and for sharing all of your talent with Gina K Designs. Keep coming up with it, and I love it. All right. Well, our next illustrator who is waiting in the wings all the way from India is Arjita Singh, and she has done another beautiful background stamp. Arjita's background stamps are really spectacular. Let's take a look at this one. This is called Planted to Bloom, and it's got so many beautiful flowers in there, and I know that Arjita is going to knock us out with her beautiful cards. So let's welcome her to the program, Arjita Singh.
Hi guys, Arjita here. Welcome to Gina K Designs February 2026 release, and I'm super excited to be here again. I am absolutely thrilled to be here, and I'm looking forward for the entire evening as I've been missing in action since last few months, and today I'm back. So I can't wait to show you my stamp set for today. This is a background stamp which I created. This is a very delicate but beautiful floral background, and I'm sure all of you are gonna love it. This is going to be a very versatile stamp set which I hope doesn't leave your desk and is a permanent part of your crafty rituals. So this is the stamp set. This is called Planted to Bloom background. So this is the design. You can use it either way. You can stamp it horizontally or vertically. It is going to look beautiful. So this is one of my favorite designs I did, and I really enjoy this flowy pattern. That is something which I really think is my style while I illustrate. So you can do so many techniques using this stamp set. It is a very versatile one. As I said, you can do no line watercoloring. I did it and I'll share a sample, and I'm super excited for that. You can do pencil coloring on this. You can do some loose style watercoloring. Just stamp it with black, emboss it in clear embossing powder, emboss it in golden embossing powder, do some ink blending. The variety you can achieve using this stamp set is a lot. So without further ado, let me just flip my camera and I will share all the card samples I created using Planted to Bloom background stamp.
So this is Planted and Bloom background stamp, and this is a 6x6 stamp which you can use horizontally, vertically, whichever way you want to. So I will just show all the card samples I created using this. Here is the first one. I just did some black line stamping, and then I did a very loose style watercoloring on top of it. I also added some Wink of Stella, the shimmer here, and finished it with a sentiment stamped in white embossing powder. This is simple. This background stamp can be the focal point as well as just lie behind the background, and I really like it. This is the second one. This is no line pencil coloring, and I enjoyed doing it. I'm not sure everybody would be doing this because it definitely takes a lot of time, but in case you have that free moment, you're sitting very free, just grab some of your pencils and color it, and it is going to be a masterpiece. Here I finished it with one of the sentiments in golden die cut and added some golden splatters. So this is pencil coloring. The next one is a simple tone-on-tone card. This is more of a cast style card, and you can use any card base and it'll look pretty. You can do a pink on pink, a blue on blue. This is just my favorite cardstock, which is the Dina Desert Storm, and I stamped it on with some Gina K Designs amalgam ink in Whisper. This is a stamp set from a past release, and I love using all the older stamps I have in my stash, and you'll be seeing that I did use a lot of the older ones. So everything is going to look good on a background stamp like this, and this is the third one. This one is also a very simple, quick cast style card. You can do this kind of a stamping, just do some spray inks on top, let it blend. And I did a circle die cut. There is no embossing on the background, nothing. It's just a very simple, quick card. And the sentiment is so beautiful. This is another pretty card. Here I used black cardstock, and I did some clear embossing on top of it It is so shiny and pretty. It is so luxurious. This is a very old stamp I did and I love this one. This is bold, but you can use any floral stamp you have in your stash. Just use it. Go ahead and finish it with a sentiment. This is very luxurious. This is also going to look beautiful on a white cardstock with clear embossing powder. I did not create that one today, but you can totally do that. The next one is also a tone-on-tone distressed background. Here you can see it's a very subtle background and it just peeps through. It looks like a wallpaper and a pattern paper in the background, and I just added some distress inks and gold splatters, finished it with this beautiful image and a frame from Gina K Designs. So this is the last one, and here this is no line watercoloring on some Arches cold press watercolor paper, and I used my Daniel Smith watercolors to color it. I did some white ink splatters on top to make it look more rustic. This was really fun and a little time consuming though. So these are the card samples I created using the Planted to Bloom background, and I hope you liked it.
So that's all from my side tonight, and I hope you like the stamp set and the card samples I created using it. I'll be posting pictures of all these cards on my social media platform, which I'm going to link right here. You can follow me there, and if you have any questions or queries, just ask them. I love answering to all your questions. And thank you so much, Gina and Tom, for having me. Thank you everybody for joining our release party, and I hope all of you have a lovely evening ahead. Bye-bye. Take care.
Wow, those cards were spectacular, Arjita. Your coloring inspires me to practice, and it inspires me to slow down and really enjoy trying new things and trying the process. And I love that background stamp. I love the way it looked on that vintage bird card where it was so subtle in the background, and also that black on black. That really, somebody had said that that looked like wallpaper, and it does. I mean, just so many different ways to use one single stamp for so many different looks. So if you haven't followed Arjita yet, she has a YouTube channel where she goes through the process of no-line watercoloring, no-line colored pencils, Copic marker coloring. She teaches you step-by-step how to color, which I think is really helpful. And even if it's not with the stamp that you have, you can learn so much from some of her past videos. And then check her out on Instagram too, because she'll be posting all of these card samples on there, and I'll be sharing them on my Instagram as well. Absolutely beautiful. Thank you so much for being here, Arjita, and sharing your talent with us month after month. All right, well, we have, and people are asking about the surprise. I have some surprises at the end of the video, and you're going to love them. So stay tuned for that. Don't go away, because it's going to be a lot of fun at the end too. But our next illustrator, I love what she did here, because everybody fell in love with Deborah Warner's large alphabet and her large numbers. And I saw all kinds of birthday cards and custom cards showing up in the group. But those letters and numbers were really big. And you could see that from even Dina's set. She used a slimline card to make that hello. Debbie has created sister dies for us. Take a look at these. A small alphabet and a small number set. And somebody was asking what size they are, and I don't have a ruler here, but I'm sure before I freak out and before I send Tom anywhere, Debbie will probably tell you, but you can see they're a really nice size. So you can create custom greetings, or you can customize, personalize a card. So you can have happy birthday, Donna, happy birthday, Wendy, just by cutting out their name, and you can create, you know, these beautiful little alphabet letters, words, numbers. You can put graduation dates, you can put wedding dates, anniversary dates, all kinds of things, because these are the perfect size. Now, I think Tom went to get me a ruler, and I want to say that these are maybe 3/4 of an inch. Did you get me a ruler? You did. Oh, look at this little ruler. All right. So I'll just measure them, and you know it's going to be the first thing Debbie tells you. Okay, so they're a 1/2 inch, about a 1/2 inch. maybe a tiny bit more. So we'll see what Debbie says, but yeah, they are the perfect size letters for personalizing cards. Also great for scrapbookers. So I'm going to let her go through it and show you all the beautiful samples that she made. So now it's time to welcome her to the program. Let's get her in here. I know Tom had to run, so he had to get his stuff all back on him. But are you ready, Tom?
Yep.
All right, let's welcome her to the program, Deborah Warner.
Hello. Hi, Gina and Tom. Thanks for having me. I'm excited to be here as always, and welcome to all of our guests this evening, this afternoon, this morning, whatever time it is for you. We're so grateful that you decided to join us for our February 2026 release party. I'm excited, so I'm going to get started right away. I have a new die set coming out. Actually, I have 2 new die sets coming out. Recently, I had designed a large number set and a large alphabet set. They are about 1.25 inches tall. But tonight, I have 2 new sets coming out, numbers and letters, but they're only 1/2 inch tall. So they will work really well on scrapbook pages and cards, on name tags, on banners, on posters, all kinds of fun things. So they are sold separately. So if you don't need the numbers, you can just buy the alphabet. If you don't need the alphabet, you can just buy the numbers. But I think you need both because they're awesome. All right, let me tell you about my samples.
My first card example is a full front shaker card. That card does measure 5 by 6, so I will be using a size A7 envelope for that. I used slate cardstock for the happy birthday letters, and for the card base, I used our white layering for my panel, and I used our layered candles and layered confetti stencils. I only used one of the confetti stencils. I used some of our bright inks and finished it off with some sequins I've had for years. On this sympathy card, I used key lime white and black onyx for my cardstocks. I used our new mini magnolia stencil. My ink colors are light and dark orchid, key lime, and lucky clover. And then I finished it off with some of our rainbow pearls, and I used our lattice embossing folder on my black panel. On this card for my cardstock colors, I used black onyx and white. For the flowers on the vine, I used tangerine twist, wild dandelion, passionate pink, grass green, and key lime. I used blue raspberry to cut out the happy birthday greeting in the background. And I used grass green ink and blue raspberry ink with our sea, sun, sky stencil for the clouds. This thank you card uses craft and white cardstock. I used our Petite Flourish embossing folder and lightly swiped across it with my white pigment ink pad. I used our Princess Circle die, and some hearts are actually from our heart chain. I always love that when you use that, you always have the bits and pieces from the outside and can use those hearts on other projects. This card I showed to you last month when I released the large number die set, but I wanted to add my grandson's name, and so I couldn't do that last month because we hadn't released the small letters yet. So I took the liberty of showing you the card again, but it is updated because I was able to add Seth's name to it. So I have another grandson that has a birthday in April, and his name is Elwood, and Elwood is turning 11. I used red hot, blue denim, and white for my cardstocks. The little cute mice are from Dina's new set called Heads Up. They're colored with Prisma-colored pencils. I used Master Layouts 18 for the panel that I glued Elwood onto and the 11, and I used our pin dot background for the main panel of my card. I also went ahead and cut Happy Birthday out separately, and I am going to put that on the inside of the card so it falls out when Elwood opens the card. And I did use our heart chain for this as well. These letters are also perfect for making name tags. I made these for a table that I am going to set and have my friends over. I used Master Layouts 19 and scored it halfway through that little scalloped panel. And then I used our Butterfly Garden stencil with magnolia ink, and I cut the letters out with red velvet. As always, I seem to need tags, so I made these. And the cool thing about having an alphabet set is you can put absolutely anything on a tag because you can spell anything. Wine for you, thanks, Mr. and Mrs. So obviously that one is for a wedding gift. And for the actual tags, I used, the top one is our decorative tag die, and the other two are from the beautiful bookmarks. Always an easy tag if you just grab a stencil, a couple colors, go ahead and stencil those, and then you can glue the letters right on top. The Mr. and Mrs. for some dimension, I actually used in reverse. So instead of the embossed, I used the debossed side of our tapestry embossing folder.
There you have my samples. I hope you got some ideas of some of the things you can do with the 1/2-inch tall letters and numbers. My favorite card by far this time was this card because of the garden gate and the garden gate flowers designed by Brian and Rena last month. I absolutely think it is beautiful. It is so elegant, and I know my friend is going to love this birthday card. Last month, as you remember, I made a birthday card for my soon-to-be 12-year-old grandson. He's turning 12 in April. His name is Seth, and I wanted to add his name to the card so it's a little more personal. And I wasn't able to do that with those small letters last month because we hadn't released him yet. So I went ahead and added it, and I just wanted to share with you. So this was my plan all along. And then keeping it personal, I do like to do that when I can. And Elwood is also having a birthday in April, and he's turning 11. And I love playing tricks on my grandsons because they love playing tricks on their Grandma Debbie. So I cut out happy birthday in the small letters, and I'm going to open this bag and dump them in the envelope when I put the card in there and mail it to him. So when he opens it up, they spill out all over the place. Also, keep in mind you can do all kinds of different things with these small numbers. Like I have a group of friends that we do little luncheons, we have game day, Sue, Judy, and Leah. And so I made name tags for the next time I do a little luncheon with them. And what I used for this was Master Layouts 19, and I used this die. And there's the equal number or even number of bumps, I guess you could say, scallops. And so it was about 2 inches in. I could go ahead and score right across that. And then it was really super easy to fold it in half. So these are great ideas if you like to entertain and you want to personalize and put name tags on your table. This is a great idea. So anyway. That is pretty much all I have to share with you today, tonight, this morning, this afternoon. So enjoy. I hope you guys have a great rest of your day, and I will catch you next time. Bye-bye.
Those letters, well, first of all, Debbie, your cards were absolutely beautiful. I loved all of them. I love the tags. I love the name tags, the little place cards that you made. Really, really cute, creative ideas. And you know, growing up, when my kids were little, and even when I was little, I had kind of a weird name. And my daughter, Rena, that's not even her real name. That was a nickname that her sister gave her. And Alicia wasn't a common name either. So when we would go to places and there'd be keychains hanging and things like that, none of us could ever find our names. And I think that it's so important for kids to get personalized stuff. So I think your grandsons are going to absolutely love having cards with their names on them, especially if they are always the ones disappointed because their names are never on the rack. The other thing that I love about this alphabet set, I love your idea of the letters all spilling out because it's glitter, confetti without the mess, right? Because they're easy to pick up. But when Rena was growing up, I taught her how to spell words using alphabet stamps. But alphabet die cuts are also another great way to teach how to spell. So if you have young grandchildren with you that are in that stage where they're learning their alphabets and they're learning to spell, you could stamp a cat and then give them those letters and say, okay, here's a little die cutting machine, die cut the letters for cat, and then you could put them on this piece of paper. And they will love doing that, and it will keep them very busy so that you could craft and you can also have some bonding time. So alphabet letters, I am so jazzed by. Numbers too, I think it's great. And that size, that 1/2 inch size, is perfect for card makers. So thank you, Debbie, for once again bringing another useful product to Gina K Designs. And you can check out Debbie's Instagram. She shares cards on there. She shares them in our Facebook group. And I'll be sharing some of her stuff too on my Instagram. All right. Well, we have one more illustrator waiting in the wings. And then I'm going to start with my things and my big surprises for tonight. This set is so cool. This was one of the first sneak peeks, and you guys absolutely loved it. So let's just take a peek at it. I don't know if I should say too much about it other than to maybe show you that die so you get an idea of what the die does for this big stamp. But this is the brand new So Many Words stamp set by Melanie Menchinger. It is jam-packed with fantastic ideas, and I know Melanie is going to show them to us. But I did want to just point out that this big background right here will cut out perfectly with Master Layouts 1. So if you wanted to use this as a background stamp and you wanted to just stamp it in color or a subtle color or a rainbow, and you wanted to just cut it out as a background, Master Layouts 1 is the die set that will coordinate with it perfectly. All right, so let's learn all about So Many Words by the illustrator, Melanie Menchinger.
Hey everyone, Melanie Menchinger here, illustrator for Gina K Designs. Thanks so much for joining us for our February release party. I am thrilled to be sharing my newest set from Gina K Designs with you, So Many Words. I was so thrilled to come back from my vacation and see all the wonderful feedback that this was getting on our sneak peeks. It has this beautiful background stamp that's going to be perfect for your A2 cards or your 5x7 cards. It has 13 big honking positive adjectives in it, as Lisa would say, big honking, and it's going to be cut out, Gina already mentioned in the peaks, by the Master Layouts die. This is from the Master Layouts 1, the one that almost everybody has, the OG set. And then if you get the coordinating die set, you are going to have all of the dies to cut out all of these coordinating image and sentiments, but you're going to have one that's just going to cut them all out at one time. So it just layers right on over it, separates out all the words. I'm going to show you some really cool ways to use the words individually, to puzzle them all together, or just to use it as a background with no cutting, whether you really want those words to pop or whether you want them to just kind of fade into the background, but to create some texture and interest on your cards, collage style, and just have those really good vibes coming through with all these words. I just want to read them to you really quick. Marvelous, wonderful, fabulous, beautiful, terrific, awesome, splendid, excellent, brilliant, fantastic, epic, amazing, and special. So these are just words that I use all the time when I'm really excited about something and when I really want to say, you are absolutely fabulous, or marvelous or wonderful news. Hope your day is epic. You are fantastic in every way. Beautiful friend, or wow, that's awesome. So these are the coordinating sentiments here that you can use to just embellish that. Then I have got some different large and small images here that are going to be common motifs for different holidays like hearts, balloons, stars, flowers, and butterflies. And that's just going to cover almost everything throughout the year. It's so fun. I'm having a great time with this set, and I want to just jump right into the samples to show you how I'm using them. The first one that I made just right out of the package, I did an emboss resist. So here is that background, and it's stamped and cut out with those Master Layouts 1. What I did here is I first Just blended a background here using some of the Plum Punch, the Passionate Pink, and our Sweet Mango inks, just all over that pure white luxury cardstock. Then I stamped my background on here, or actually maybe I did it first. No, sorry, I embossed it first and then I did it over it. So I did that with some of the Gina K Puffy White and the embossing ink. I thought I was grabbing the fine detail, which would have kind of a shine to it on the embossed resist, but I grabbed the Puffy White by mistake. But I really like just the subtle difference there, that it's just a little bit more matte, that it gives it just a little bit more texture and makes it a little bit more aged. But isn't that beautiful how all those words come through? And then I thought it would be fun just to cut out those different sentiments there and just layer them right over the top. So it looks great even when you're covering up the words. So I've got it saying, "You are absolutely terrific in every way." So you can see I've got these on the white. And then the black, this is one of those words from when I die cut out all of the words with the terrific. So what I did here on my die cutting, I actually only stamped it twice. I stamped it once in black on our white cardstock and then cut once with this die. So that cut out all 13 of the words. Then I embossed it in some of our champagne powder on a black cardstock and cut it once with that die. That gave me 26 words. So I had 26 on white, 26 on black. I've used them on all of these samples here and I still have a bunch left. So I just love being able to just stamp once, die cut once, and then you have just this pile of words that you can use in so many different ways. So I love, love, love this card. Love how it turned out. The next one, I used another one of those die cut words. So I've got the "Hope Your Day is Fabulous." And to make a more subtle background here, did a little blending with our sky blue ink just to create some soft clouds. And then I stamped that background stamp from So Many Words in that same sky blue ink over it. So very, very subtle there. It looks very different from stamping it in black or white. Then what I did is I took the Gina K Bold Balloon stencil. I stenciled it over with just some different, the pink, the orange. I used the purple, yellow, green. And I was really surprised to see how this plain dye ink almost kind of resisted the blending over it. Looked a lot different than I thought it would, and I just love it. It almost looks like a white craft ink under there. So I was really surprised to see how that pale blue kind of came through these deeper orange and plum punch colors. So I love how that turned out. Then I added those balloon strings to the stenciling, and I die cut out my own balloon and string from the set. And then I made it look like it was pulling up that fabulous. So you can layer the words directly over that same word on the background, or you can put them wherever you want. And these are just all words that are going to work wherever they are. So love how this turned out. I used the scallop die from Master Layouts 4 just to create something that's going to kind of echo the balloon and cloud shapes. And then I put that on the coordinating sky blue paper. So I love how this one turned out. The next one, I cut this out with that scallop frame from Master Layouts 4. So it just fits inside of this one. And this is one of my favorite ones to use because I love that stitching and the scallop. So stamp it first and then do your die cutting. I added the "wow, that's" over it because I want it to be all the words, all the things, whatever good news or exciting occasion you are recognizing that day. And then I layered on the large and small flower, this large butterfly, which I colored in with just some coordinating alcohol markers to match my Passionate Pink and my Plum Punch cardstock, and then the smaller one. And then I added just a little tiny one of the little GK clay hearts there. I love that embellishment. So this is just a fun card, and this is just reminding me of newsprint here. So I love it in just plain black and white. No need to color or blend. The next one, I wanted to show you how you can use this either on a square card or on a landscape orientation. So what I did first is I did some blending with our toilet check background. Wanted it to look like a little baby quilt for my friend who is expecting. That's why we've got the yellow and green, because we don't know yet. And then what I did is I just stamped it on the side of it. So you've got an open part here, but you can see those same words that are in the apple mint. And it's just so soft and subtle, but you're still being able to read those words. Then I've got the wow, that's wonderful news. Again, this is just from that one cut that I did with all of the words where I did the one die cut and I had my pile of words. I used the different stars there, the heart and the small balloon. I added those little strings and then I just popped them up with some dimensionals and added another one of those little clay hearts here. So this is cut out with one of the Master Layouts dies, and then I've got that Master Layouts for scallop behind there. I think she's gonna love this card. I'm just so excited for her. The next one I wanted to show without the background stamp, but just the words stacked to make a real impact here. So amazing, terrific, fantastic, awesome, excellent news. And then I have got these layered over just an embossed mat. I think these are the happy hearts, if I'm not mistaken, on some red hot cardstock that I then just swiped my white pigment ink pad over just to make those hearts really pop. But you can see these are popped up, every other one with the foam squares. So I hope you can see that dimension there. And I just love the contrast of the champagne embossing on the black with the white and black there. Love this look. The next one that I did, I wanted to show how you can puzzle these onto the stamped cardstock. So what I did is I stamped the background onto a single layer blue raspberry A2 size card front, put that in black. Then I took all those extra words that I had. And a little tip here for puzzling this back together in a really easy way is you can take the cutout of that Master Layouts mat. So take this, place it over the stamping, and then you're just going to lay these back in, puzzling it over that, and then they're all going to line up just how they should. So that's a really easy to do that. So I'm just going to keep this kind of like a little template with my dies. And then I just layered. So I wanted your eye to kind of bounce around and for it to go back and forth between the white and the black. And then I layered the little die cut friend over there to let them know they're all these things to me. And then I put some of those little clay hearts in the O and the wonderful and the fabulous with the black and white. And again, I just love all that contrast there and just how punchy it is. I love that. The last two cards I wanted to show using this as a background for some of my past sets. So I love how this one turned out. This is doing just a direct to stamp with my cubes to create this rainbow effect. And I wanted to just show you how effective this background is, even when it's not being read kind of the traditional way from top to bottom. You can turn it sideways. There are a few that are oriented sideways, but I just did, let's see, I did the Passionate Pink, the Red Hot, the Tangerine Twist, Wild Dandelion, the Lucky Clover, the Teal, and then finally, I think that's the Wild Lilac. So you just do all of your inking at once on the Misty, then stamping, and you have that beautiful rainbow background border. So I thought that this would be really pretty with my beautiful tulip stamps that we released previously. And I turned it this way so that I could have this beautiful parrot tulip in the yellow and red, just kind of contrasting over the cooler colors here, just to kind of match this side. So I think that it's really pretty that way. I layered the You Are Absolutely over it again, just to kind of make them read all of these words at once, and then added those leaves. So this is colored with alcohol markers. I've shown a lot of examples of how I color these flowers on my videos. It's very easy to do, especially when you really don't need to blend. You want that flower to look very stripy. So I love this card, just a single layer card. And then the last one I did with my new Birds and Branches set. I think it's still out of stock, but I hope you'll get on the wait list if you missed it. I had just a pile of words left over, so I wanted to show you something really fun that you can make a post with these different signs by just adding the words. Again, just the contrasting the white and black, special friend, or whatever you want to be on the inside, with that little bird standing on top of the fence post. This is just a piece of warm cocoa cardstock that I swiped with the chocolate truffle pad, and it looks just like a piece of wood there. So I just think this is so fun and just a really fun way to use up these words. As always, I've got an inspiration sheet for you, and I went ahead and just did a color version of it this time of all the samples that I have shown you in this video. I hope it's given you lots of ideas, and I have so many more ways to use it in mind, but I'm going to save those for later so that there can be some surprises. I can't wait to see what all of our guest designers did with it tonight, and I can't wait to see what you're all going to do with it. So please tag me when you post your video or your samples online, your pictures. So thanks so much for joining us. Thanks for letting me share. I'm gonna go work on my stamp set for this month. I'm just so inspired by all of you, everything you're creating, and just all the love that you have for Gina K Designs and your support of my stamps. So thanks so much. I'll talk to you soon. Bye.
Oh my gosh, that is such an amazing stamp set. It's brilliant, Melanie. I just, as a background, it is so inspiring and joyful. And I posted this in the comments. I don't know if you saw it, but this is exactly the kind of cards that we should be sending to every single person that we know. We should be spreading this kind of joy around and just lifting each other up and letting people know how valuable they are. And that's what that stamp set is. It just lets people know how much they mean to you. I love it. I loved every one of your cards. Thank you for your inspiration sheet. Thank you for making all of those beautiful samples, and thank you for being here. Melanie does have a YouTube channel, so make sure you look her up on YouTube, Melanie Menchinger. And she always makes a video for her current release, so you'll get to see one of her cards in a video. Maybe she could do two. We'll have to see what she has time for, but we also have guest designers that are making beautiful projects, and all of those card samples Melanie will be sharing in the Facebook group, and also I will grab them off of Facebook and put them on my Instagram, so you'll be able to see them as well if you're on Instagram. Gosh, that was so fun. You guys, all of our illustrators just knocked it out of the park this month. All right, well, now it's my turn. And the first thing I want to show you is not stamps, dies, stencils, or any of that. So we have something new. We actually have two something new things, and I am going to show them to you. So the first one I want to show you is, whoop, here it is. We have a brand new brush holder called the Brush Bucket. And you can get it two ways. Let me zoom out a little bit. So, yes, you did see it behind me. You did see it behind me. So the Brush Bucket kit, this is the full kit, comes with 30 blending brushes. That means that you'll have a large, a medium, and a large, a small, and a detail for every single color family if you get this blending brush kit. It has the brush bucket, it has the carousel that fits underneath it, and it's got 10 of each of the 3 sizes of brushes. So let me just open this up. Now the box, it's tight, so you're gonna have to open it by like flipping it back and forth until you get it open. This is a tight, a tight box, but you'll get it open, don't worry. Don't worry, you'll get it open. Okay, so when you get it, it's going to have some stuffing. And then you're going to get the carousel. This is the spinny thing, the little Lazy Susan that you can put it on. You're going to have all of these brushes. They're all wrapped. So they're going to be wrapped for protection, right? And then the big ones are at the bottom. So you have 10 of the large, 10 of the small, and 10 of the detail. Then you have the brush bucket in here. Now I have one already set up, so let me put this back. I should sign this box, since it was the one that I probably didn't put back together right. Then you'll know, oh, I got Gina's dud. Okay, so this, let me show you what this looks like all set up here. All right, so this is what it looks like all set up. So the carousel, you know what, let me open this small one here. I'm gonna open the small one here because this is just the stand. So if you already have all of our brushes and you're not interested in all the brushes, but you just want the stand, you can get just the stand with the carousel, okay? So the way it works is you just put your carousel down, you put your stand on top of it, and it fits perfectly in there. See that? It fits perfectly in there right on your desktop, ready to spin, just like that, okay? Now, if you want to glue it, you certainly can just use like Gorilla Glue, put a little Gorilla Glue on there and stick it on there, leave it overnight, and it will stick. But because I keep mine on my desktop when I'm working right in front of me, I'm always using blending brushes, I don't even worry about it, I just pop it right on there. And even if you pick it up, you know, you could pick it up separately and just put it down like that. You know, just like this one. If I wanted to have this one, you know, up on my shelf, I could just grab it and just put it right on the stand. And then, so let's go to the front shot so I can show this to you a little bit better. So what you're going to notice here is each segment, each section here has space for the big one, the large one, the small one, and the detail brush. So the holes are very different sizes for these two different size handles, but you're going to keep your color family all together. So you'll have your reds, your oranges, your yellows, your greens, your teals, your blues, your purples, your pinks, brown, and black. Okay? And these are gonna, what's nice about this too, I don't know if you guys do this, but with our old brush holder and every other brush holder, I have, you know, I stick the red in and then I have the green and the yellow and everything, and then I just pop them back in any hole and they get all mixed up. Because you're going to be using these for a single color family, you're going to take this large red brush and use it. You're going to see where the other reds are, and it's going to be easy to pop it back into the right spot. So, no, we're not doing the color clips anymore, and here's why. A lot of people didn't like the color clips because when you start ink blending with them, sometimes they pop off, and then people would lose them, and we have a brand new manufacturer. So let me tell you about the manufacturer. This brush bucket is manufactured not only right here in the USA, but right here in New Berlin, Wisconsin, just around the corner from where our warehouse is, by a husband and wife who make these in their home for us. So when I talk about supporting a small business, you're really supporting a small business when you purchase a brush bucket. They are a brand new company and they pitched this idea to me and I loved it so much because it held all of our brushes. This is an exclusive design for Gina K Designs. They're not making it for anybody else, just for us. It's called the Brush Bucket. So you can either get the Brush Bucket, which is the Brush Bucket Brush Caddy Carousel Combo, which is the brush bucket and the spinny carousel for the bottom. Or you can get the Brush Bucket Kit, which is the carousel, the brush bucket, and 30 brushes to put in it. So if you're, if you're thinking, oh, and by the way, if you get the full kit, you're almost only paying for the brushes because a couple people in our warehouse were looking at the pricing and they were figuring out what it would cost separately. And they said to get the whole kit, you're only paying like $10 or $15 more and you get the whole stand and the carousel underneath. So it's a pretty good deal. And, I don't know about you, but every once in a while I like a brush refresh. And maybe you have some brushes that are getting a little crusty and old, or maybe you want to have a brush system for all of your weird colors that, you know, don't really fall into necessarily the reds. Like maybe you want your emerald to be separate and your cranberry to be separate because you want your reds to just be all the true reds and the corals. Maybe you want your peach to be separate. So, you know, there's always room for a few more blending brushes, right?
What's the diameter?
The diameter. Oh, Tom, look, you brought me a it is, let's see here. Let me put my glasses on so I can see it. It is just about end to end, about 5.5 inches around. 5.5 inches around. So it doesn't take up space. And then also you have like the center here, right? So you can put your scissors, you can put your tweezers, you can put glue, you can put your pick and stick tool in here. So it does have space in the center for extra storage for things. And I mean, really, if you wanted to throw extra blending brushes in there, you could do that as well if you don't mind them touching each other a little bit. But this keeps them all separate, keeps them really nice, it keeps them clean. So that's what I would put in the center. I would put my ruler, I would put my pick and stick tool, I would put all of those kinds of things in the center. My large glue bottle, I don't have a real large one here, but that would fit right in there. If you wanted to put your Connect mat in there, that would fit in there nicely. For those of you that like to spray, I don't know if this will fit in there. Oh, look at that. The Tim Holtz sprayer fits in there. That's a great place for it, because I know what a lot of you do is you take this Tim Holtz Distress Sprayer and you fill it with alcohol. So when you're ink blending on stencils, this is your cleaner and you just spray the stencils. I know a lot of you are fine with that. That would be a great thing because it fits in there really nicely. It's just, it slides in there. I'm checking it to make sure I can pull it back out. But yeah, it's like perfect for the Tim Holtz sprayer. So perfect for your stencil cleaner. Yeah, so this is our brand new brush bucket kit and our brush bucket caddy. So if you already have tons of brushes and you have lots of Gina K brushes, they will all fit in here. And if you're looking for a brand new brush set, you know where to get it. All right, so that is one of our new things. Now, here is something, the next thing I want to show you is our new stencil set, okay? So you saw the Magnificent Magnolia. It's big, right? It's a big magnolia. I think I have it here. I just showed it to you. Let me find it real quick so you can see the size difference. Here it is. So this is a very, very big magnolia. Now, this is not the same stencil. It uses similar flowers, but they're oriented in a different way. So they can work together. If you want some smaller magnolias to come in on the top, you can mix and match these together. These are sister stencil sets, but this one doesn't have a die. This was in the 12 Days of Christmas, and it's just very big for making an A2 card. Even for making a 5x7, you're going to chop a little bit of that off. This one is going to fit completely on your A2 card. And it also has the coordinating die that has all those neat cutouts. So let me show you what this looks like on a card. So the first card, I actually cut 2 of them. So this is the size of that. You can see that is just the perfect size for an A2 card. You could put it right in the center and put a greeting across the center. You could put it down in the corner and then put some up at the top. You can use 2 of these. If you want to use it for a 5x7 or an A6 card, 2 of them would be the perfect way to do it. Yes, it is on our website. If you click on what's new, you've got to go all the way near the bottom because it's tools. You may even have to scroll to the next page. And if you can't find it there, just click on our tools filter and you'll find it with all the blending brushes and everything else like that. Okay, so you can see here on this card, I use that chalet background stamp from the 12 Days of Christmas box that's now available. And then I just cut and stenciled these 2 of these. One I glued right to the card and the other one I popped up to create a little bit of dimension there. So that was such a fun card to make. Let me show you another card I made with this one. I'm going to zoom in a little bit here because I feel like we're a little bit zoomed out. Okay, so here's another one I made. I love postage cards. I'm bananas over postage cards, and I know that a lot of people have stencils that work with postage cards, but the truth is any stencil works with a postage card if you use a postage grid stencil first. And we have a postage grid stencil that aligns perfectly with our Master Layouts 14. When you lay that stencil on top of Master Layouts 14, then you can put any other stencil on top of that, and you can stencil beautiful floral designs in there, and they each look like unique postage stamps. So I used the light lilac and the medium lilac. On this one I used sun-kissed coral and red hot. And then for all of them I used jelly bean green and fresh asparagus. Then I used some of the little elements here from the postcards and more stamp set to get the little, the little postage prices there, and forever and priority handmade, and then this little cancellation stamp. So I love postage cards. They're always fun to make with stencils, and these two cards were super easy to make, all with this one stencil bundle. This was designed by my daughter Alicia, and it's called Mini Magnolias. It's got the die and the stencil all in the package. Beautiful. Love it. Love it so much. Okay, then we have two brand new embossing folder bundles. Yes, we do. The first one is called Daisy Delight. And let me show you what this embossing folder looks like. It is beautiful. Look at this embossing folder. It's got daisies, perfect for spring, and it's got some roses. Somebody was asking if we had roses in an embossing stencil, and I was biting my tongue because I wanted to say it, but I couldn't. And then it's got dies that will cut the daisies, and I'll show you I made a daisy card. Now, the reason why this stencil is $2 more, I think it's $2 more, is because this has 8 layers. This stencil is an 8-layered stencil. So you can get all of that depth and dimension on all the different petaled areas, like I've been teaching in some of my stencil classes and some of my stenciling videos online, how you can create all of that dimension. But 8 full layers. Look at all of these layers. I mean, you could do so much with this. And then remember, you can always, on some of these layers, add sparkle gel, fuse foiling gel, and foils. So you can, just have a couple petals that sparkle and shine, or a couple petals that have a little bit of glitter on them. It'll be so beautiful, and so many fun ways to use this. Now I have a couple cards here for you using this that I want to show you. I had to open that to show you what 8 stencils looks like, because it's so many. Most of them only have 4, so you could see. And then the dies are stuck together behind this embossing folder. So I made a couple cards here. The first one I want to show you is this one. I feel like it's so beautiful, and it looks like watercolor, like impressionistic watercolor. Isn't that just so pretty? I love how beautiful that is, and all of that beautiful detail. So I used a lot of colors on here. I used the light and medium carnation for this one. I used sea glass and a little turquoise sea. I used a real light hand for this because I really wanted it to have that spring feel. I used sun-kissed coral and some red hot here. I used marigold and wild dandelion on this, and I used light and medium lilac on this. I used a little bit of warm cocoa and dark chocolate just to add a little depth here to the bottoms of these centers of the flowers. And then I used jelly bean green and a little bit of fresh asparagus. So isn't that pretty? I added just a couple little crystal clear sequins on there. And then I used one of the greetings from, is that from Melanie's set? I think it's from Melanie's set. I think so. I have to look to see. I put them all back. Oh no, it's from Lisa's set. It was Wish You Were Here from Lisa's set. I was just trying to use whatever greetings I had in this release. I tried not to sway too much outside of the release, but I love all of these colors. And then I wanted to see what this whole look would look like, because, you know, when I make a purchase like this, it's great for spring, but I wanted to see if it would look good for autumn cards. So I decided to do it on craft. And look at how pretty that is on craft. So once again, I used marigold for this, and I just used red hot for these, and the jelly bean and fresh asparagus and the brown. Look how pretty that is for an autumn card. That just takes these daisies into sunflowers. You know, those little petite or cone flowers. It just makes it feel like such a wintry kind of card. And this greeting is from Dina's new set. It's the little things that mean so much. That's from her Heads Up Little Critters. So these are 2 big 5x7 cards because I did not want to cut anything off of this embossing folder. I thought they're just too pretty. I wanted to show everything. But then I did want to make an A2 card with it. So I used the dies and I made just a daisy card with the Daisy Delights, just the daisies. And I die cut them and I embossed them, and then I used blue sky and powder blue and a little bit of marigold in the center. And then this is from our Bright and Beautiful incentive set, this greeting. And I used the snowy background stamp to create a little texture back there, and I put it on a double stitched and single stitched oval and just kind of created a little cascade of daisies. So you certainly can use it, and you can also trim it off a little bit. Like, there wouldn't be anything wrong with trimming that off to make it an A2 card, you know, and just having those flowers coming up from the corner. But it is really fun to have some nice big embossing folder images that work so nicely on 5x7 cards and A6 cards. So those are a few samples using the beautiful new Daisy Delights 3D embossing folder bundle. That's a must-have. I love this one. And I feel like it is really one of those sets that easily goes from spring into summer into fall. So you'll get 3 full seasons of use out of this one before you need to think about winter and Christmas, right? Okay, now I have one more to show you, and it is another 3D embossing bundle, and this one is called Gorgeous Bloom. All right, you gotta see how big this flower is. Look at this thing. Look at how beautiful that is. So this is just a beautiful big flower. You can die cut it, or you can just use it with embossing, and it's got a 4-piece layering stencil set. I did make a couple of cards. The first card that I made is this one here. And this is one of those stencils like our Sensational zinnias, the one that has all the layers where you can get that darkness under the petal. So as you build the petals out, you can continue to add depth and dimension. Isn't that beautiful? And look at those leaves on that. Aren't they beautiful? All the texture that you get from that. I love this one. This one absolutely has my heart. This Just Checking In on You is from Dina's set, her Heads Up Little Critters. And I thought that would be such a beautiful card to send somebody that's kind of going through a struggle time in their life, you know, and you just want to send them a card, a little, you know, handwritten message in there. I'm just thinking about you. I know you're going through it, but I just wanted you to know that I'm checking in on you and I'm thinking about you. Isn't that gorgeous? And then, of course, I had to die cut. I had to do the die cut piece on a card, so I had to make a second one. And I cut 2 flowers, and I made this card. Look at that. Isn't that so pretty? So this one I did with sea glass and a little tranquil teal to create those buildable layers on this flower. And I used Master Layouts 20 for the frame and the chalet background stamp in there behind it. And then I used our incentive set, our Bright and Beautiful incentive set for the greeting there. And I just had to have 2 flowers on there. I had to cut them out. But like all of the dimension that you get from these 3D embossing folders is so amazing because of the way the layering stencils are designed. You know, you can use those fine detail brushes and just get right along the edges. And then when you pull that off, you get that depth. And then the next layer, the lightness of it, it just makes it explode off of the card. So this is the final product I have to show to you tonight, the Gorgeous Bloom 3D Embossing Folder Bundle. And I didn't show any sneak peeks of these because I really thought it would be fun to just have some surprises tonight with the blending brush bucket and then these 2 embossing folders. So, oh, I don't know, Tom, what do you think? What's your favorite? There's too much, right? It's all my favorite.
Stunning.
Wasn't that fun? Oh, and our illustrators just knocked it out of the park too. Everything tonight. I'm going to have a lot of fun this month because not having a kit is going to let me explore some of our Illustrator sets, explore our incentive sets a little more, play a little bit more with these 3D folders and the ink blending and stuff, things that I really enjoy doing. So I hope you're going to take this journey with me this month because it's going to be a lot of fun. All right, Tom. Well, you know what we have to do. We have to give away 3 gift cards. And tonight we're giving away 3 $25 gift cards. You can use them anytime. They don't expire. So if you already placed an order, you can save it for our next release. Or maybe you saw something after you placed your order that is now on your wish list. You can add that gift card and get this item that maybe is on your wish list. So, but before we do that, if you like tonight's release party video and you were inspired by all of our wonderful illustrators, give this video a thumbs up and also hit the subscribe button and all notifications so you never miss another video. And then if you're not a member of our Facebook group and you want to see tons more inspiration using all of these beautiful new products so you have lots of ideas for when your order gets there, our Facebook group is called Gina K Designs and Stamp TV Friends. It's the one with 50,000 members. We want you to come on over and be a member too. All you have to do is answer our 3 questions to prove that you're a crafter and not a AI bot, and agree to the rules of the group, and we will let you right in and you can start enjoying inspiration and sharing your Gina K Designs projects. Then a huge shout out to Brianne Loveland. Brianne has just helped us so much tonight, Brianne. Thank you for linking everything and finding all the things that none of us can think of. We appreciate you so much. But if you missed any of Brianne's links, you can find everything that we released tonight and all of the other products that we used at ginakdesigns.com. All right, everybody. Tom, are you ready to give away some fun?
I am ready to go.
All right, let's do it.
All right, timpani. Drum roll, please. Here we go. Tonight's winners are Kim Sharabba, 5386, Shirley Eckenroad, 5517, and Sylvia Torres.
Yay! Woohoo! Congratulations, ladies. You each get a $25 gift card to spend however you want and whenever you want. All you have to do is send your name and email address to info@ginakdesigns.com and we will get those out to you. Well, everybody, Tom and I will be back on Thursday with another Stampin' Chat Live, and I will be digging into some of these new products. I hope you will join us for that. In the meantime, we appreciate you guys so much. We know there were other things on TV tonight, and a lot of you stuck with us and just decided to stay in your happy, crafty place. We are so glad that you did. And we hope that you found a lot of inspiration. So until we see you again on Thursday, stay safe, stay healthy. We love you all so very much, and we'll see you again real soon. Bye-bye.